The train. Yeah. We don't have to go back and go to the score sheet because it's already done.
Yeah.
So yeah, who would like to read the train? Is
You don't want to
716.
read your favorite?
No, my favorite's next, 015.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the
Hmm.
train, not the Pipe Nightmare.
Uh,
Check my chat. Hold on.
how much is it?
Hold on. I gotta go in intermission. Very short. The next three are very short. Hold on. I gotta do
Okay.
something. Can't I don't like Benny. All right. Oh, well, let me get the bingo board off the screen. All right. Hatchet, did you want to read this one? The train.
I'll read it, but give me a sec.
Gotcha.
Just not gonna lie, you're talking about that reminded me of something I wanted to do, and if I don't do it right this second, I'm gonna fucking forget it.
Bitch. Just messing. You're fine. Should have checked the funnel rolling too. It kind of would make sense.
That's the thing. I don't have my chat on follower only. I've had it on chatters without a verified phone number and must have accounts older than 1 week. So I'm trying to think whether I should
Gotcha.
change that. That'll probably be fine. I guess I can change it later if I have any issues.
Yeah.
Alright.
Backworm.
But by the way, Bright, you're no longer streaming in Discord.
Oh, shit. Fuck.
Right, language.
Go fuck yourself.
Right, try to be a partially eloquent woman.
Fuck no.
Partially.
Absolutely fucking not.
You don't have to be vocalizing like you're a sailor ready to gut someone.
I like this suck cocks.
You still sound like a sailor ready to gut people.
I was about to make that same joke.
Yeah. Alright, go ahead,
Okay.
Hatchet.
SCP-716. Item number... Wait, that's the item number I just read. What the fuck? Object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. Containment area is to be coated in lead shielding both inside and out. Should any section of the shielding become damaged, replacement plates are to be installed immediately. Chains and plates used to secure SCP-716 are to have lead shielding as well, and are to be replaced as soon as wear corrosion is observed. 716 is to remain pointing at an external wall at all times. Should 716 break containment and forcibly exit the containment area, recovery teams are to monitor 716 and attempt recovery only when 716 comes to rest. Recovery while still in motion may only be attempted with approval from O5 Command. Areas with long-term exposure are to be sterilized after 716 removal. Any biological organisms affected by 716 are to be terminated unless required for testing. No humans are to enter REM sleep within 200 meters of SCP-716 if uncontained, 100 meters if contained. Anything exiting data expunged. No entry of SCP-716 is permitted at any time. Entry for testing purposes must be approved by Site Command. Description: SCP-716 is a large locomotive and a variable number of cars between 8 and 20 on average. Both the locomotive and cars appear to be in an advanced state of neglect. Physical damage dealt to 716 appears to slowly regenerate over time. However, it maintains an appearance of extreme neglect and rust. 716 can be physically moved with difficulty. However, the locomotive appears to be unable to function normally and appears to be missing any critical parts, or many critical parts. 716 exhibits a select form of inconsistent topography. While appearing to have a set number of rail cars from outside observation, the train exhibits an apparently unlimited amount of cars when entered. Almost all of these cars are enclosed and appear to be of random types: passenger, tanker, animal transport, mail, etc. Many of them exhibit other anomalous properties, such as data expunged. Some notable and concerning cars are a horse transport car with horse corpses hanging from ropes made out of sheep tendon, a tanker car filled with a mixture of crude oil and human bile, a large transport car filled with stacks of keys made of many different materials, and data expunged. 716 is also capable of two forms of transport/movement. To begin with, it can travel and move in a manner consistent with a locomotive of similar dimensions, despite the lack of vital parts. Any form of fuel, lack of vital parts, any form of fuel or conductor. 716 is capable of reaching speeds in excess of triple-digit number kilometers per hour, and can do so in a very short period of time. While it appears to prefer traveling in or on current or former rail tracks, SCP-716 is capable of overland movement as well, in a manner similar to SCP-1489. Observation of SCP-716 engaging in this movement in a urban area shows that activities that would damage/disable a normal locomotive, such as penetrating a 3-meter thick brick wall, will not impair 716 in any perceivable way. The second transportation/movement form exhibited by SCP-716 has also been observed with human subjects on board. The probability of triggering this mode appears to be largely random, but is more common in cases of groups of 5 or more subjects. Subjects report that SCP-716 will suddenly shift and begin to move rapidly, accelerating to top speed. Outside observation will show that regardless of Peppy, dude, what the fuck?
Seeing signs of Peppy.
It fucking startled the shit out of me. Oh, where was I? Shift and begin to move rapidly, accelerate to top speed. Outside observation will show that regardless of subject reports and received data, SCP-716 remains completely still. Once 716 begins this form of transportation/movement, subjects become unrecoverable. SCP-716 also exhibits properties data expunged 1. Subjects exiting 716 during the second form of transportation/movement, data expunged 2. Okay, so the parentheses 1 and parentheses 2 are corresponding to our addendums. Data recovery, parenthesis 1, level 2 clearance
Okay,
required.
then I'm a kaiju furry.
Peppy, please, dude. Why do you insist on showing up and bugging me while I'm reading?
Because fuck you.
Fuck you. Data recovery. Consistent
You
with a
okay?
form. Yeah, I was just yawning.
Okay.
Consistent with a form of unknown radiation, this effect appears to emanate from SCP-716 and appears to expand the longer SCP-716 remains stationary in a location. Effects include expanded list and definitions, with cited examples available from Central Records by request. Alterations in size/shape/behavior of local flora and fauna. Mass. Why did my brain just die? Auto homicides and die-offs of local flora and fauna. Alteration in weather patterns and severity. Genetic damage, behavior alteration, and physical deformity in humans. Peppy, dude! Ugh. Hallucinations, auditory, tactile, olfactory, visual. Also of note is the behavior exhibited by individuals during REM sleep within this area of effect. Subjects, after entering REM sleep, will begin to sleepwalk in the direction of 716, even in individuals with no history of nocturnal disturbance. Subjects allowed to enter 716 will enter the fetal position on the floor of one of the train cars and continue sleeping normally. Groups of people entering in this way have been shown to be capable of triggering the second form of transportation/movement exhibited by 716. Data recovery/2. Level 4 clearance required. Yeah, so... Oh, okay, so that was a continuation from the SCP also exhibits properties consistent. Okay, so then with this addendum, it'll be subjects exiting SCP-716 during the second form of transportation/movement report seeing a vast empty plain of hard-packed earth. This plain appears almost totally featureless and without any sort of border. The only feature of any kind is an endless string of train cars going from one horizon to the other. This is assumed to be SCP-716 Test 716. Tests have shown the environment to be totally sterile and lacking in any source of water. The plane appears to go through a 72-hour day-night cycle, with what is reported as a too large sun and no moon. Subjects are still able to see and receive radio and other transmissions, but they experience a progressive breakdown in clarity, with communication rendered impossible after approximately 1 month. This same property is exhibited by communication devices within 716 itself. Exploration and testing have raised data expunged release by O5 order only. So that... Peppy, stop that! Oh my god, dude. Come here, you stupid little bastard. So yeah, that's the SCP.
Alright, everyone ready to see the thumbnail?
I guess.
Okay.
Oh,
You're not gonna like the thumbnail.
I never pick the thumbnails.
We never like the thumbnail.
What relevance does the snake neck zombie conductor have to this SCP?
I feel like the SCP was never recorded having a conductor, but you know what?
No,
Let's just
it
watch
does
the
not.
video.
It does not. So, I guess besides that, this is like a reasonably accurate interpretation. Unless like we're missing like is it possible that there's like more to it? Like is the um like released by O5 order only part actually somewhere that we just
I
don't
feel
see?
like having it look mostly like the SCP, but then adding something like Wormhead, like Conductor, Undead,
Mm,
Demon, makes it at least a 3.
yeah. Also, here's the thing. This SCP was actually written by a popular author on the SP Wiki, by Dr. Gears.
Cool.
Oh, nice!
I didn't know that. I went to look in license citation to see if there's anything else, and yeah, I saw
But
Dr. Gears.
I would
Very
say
nice.
honestly, like I don't think it's fair to say that this is 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like this is a 1. It's accurate except for one included detail.
Well,
Yeah.
it's about the thumbnail is about how clickbait it is. And you can't tell me that conductor is not clickbait.
Oh yeah, I mean it's clickbait. I just don't think it's like to
Yeah,
the
it's not about
extreme.
inaccuracy can be part of clickbait, but in this case, the clickbait is the giant, like red-eyed demon conductor thing with the noodle neck.
Is this our first fight over over a clickbait thumbnail
Well, in the
category?
end, it doesn't matter what me or Hatchet thinks. You're the one who rates it, right?
Alongside that, this is literally just us discussing it, right?
Ah,
Um, I'd be willing to split the difference and say 2.
that's what
Okay,
I was
you.
thinking. Yeah, too.
Yeah, it's like it's clickbait, but it's not as bad as we've seen, and
Yeah,
otherwise it's
Yeah,
relatively accurate.
yeah,
it's mostly accurate,
I
but it's
opened it.
definitely not a 1.
yeah. Alright. Wait! They didn't include the license!
Wait, they didn't? Or did?
Wait, no, they put it by Lurk D. This, right here. It
But it's
says,
by Gears.
yeah, it was written by Gears.
Okay, let's.
Again, like how do we how do we rate like okay, they didn't include the license, but in this case, like they accredited the wrong author.
That
Like
means
how do you manage that?
it's basically as bad as not including it at all.
I'd argue it's worse.
Well, yes.
See,
And
Because then it's just
considering
like
the only characters is a train, I feel like we already know the copyright thing is going to be probably a 4, unless they
yeah,
somehow alter the character of the train itself.
yeah, I forgot. Lurk D was the one who made this one.
oh yeah.
I knew
Then
he sounded
why-
Which,
familiar.
while is cool, is not the one Dr.
Or
Gears
they
made
sound
and
familiar.
not this one.
Major some
Wait.
guy misidentifying his book.
That one was super creative and awesome, though, but not. It is not. It's not this SCP. It's a different
Right.
SCP.
It's just this is
Okay,
just like it's just plagiarism but laundered through
Yeah.
a dumbass
You know
that
what?
doesn't
I think
understand
my
what he's doing.
avatar should look one notch further than annoyed. Okay, let's go.
We ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Watch like the person who you can't talk about just shows up at random. That's why they were credited.
Dr. Gears, if you ever watch this, we are very sorry for what the content farm did here. Work.
Yeah. Alright. In 3, 2, 1.
I opened to try and look at it again. It's starting to make more sense. Looks clearer than before. I can make
It's
out
a
a few
book.
sentences. In the land of Ash.
Wait, what? In the land of ash and old rusty worm slithers and hungry head glares, dreamers all aboard take a seat. When the maw shuts, dreamers all aboard. I'm pretty sure it's not a dragon train.
Well, on the bright side, they used the word worm, which I like that word. That's it.
Okay.
That's all. I just like worm as a word. It's a cool word.
It's a cool dragon type, but
Yeah, now it's Pokemon.
that's it.
I'm kidding.
It's one of my it's like used to describe one of my favorite dragons in Tolkien's lore.
Yeah.
Also, I think they're very bad at trying to make a poem look mysterious. If it's in a land of ash, it's basically a land of death
Yeah.
where life has expired. And if it's a rusty worm slithering, they're basically talking about the train. They're calling the train a dragon, an old dragon.
Yep.
And it's hungry, meaning it takes prey.
Mm-hmm. Was it clarified I did that?
And it eats you
No.
in your sleep. And no, it does not do that. I never said the video was accurate. I'm just saying the poem is so easy to understand. Even a kindergartner should be able to decode this.
Oh no, oh no. It's like they actually it's like they included the word worm literally just under the assumption that the reader wouldn't know like a slightly less commonly known dragon term.
Yeah.
And then that's the whole thing. Festus, why are you yelling at me?
Festus wants pets.
I
Alright.
pet the Festus.
Yep. Alright. In 3, 2, 1.
And old rusty worm slithers. And hungry head glares. Dreamers all aboard. Take a seat when the maw shuts. Dreamers all aboard.
Why did it go the Stranger Things sounds?
I rated their poetry a 0 out of 10. I even prefer amateurish emo poetry.
It just went. Read the poem Stranger Things. You know what I mean by that, right?
I've never seen Stranger Things. Let's go.
I'm just saying that because the intro sound. I didn't watch it either.
Finally, sunrise. I shuffle out from the pile of tattered hardcover books and try and get my bearings. The nights are far too long in this place, and far too dark. I can barely see my hands in front of my face when the light dies out. That's why we can't travel at night. As the night sky bleeds to deep blue, I can allow my eyes to adjust again. The landscape remains unchanged. I stand on a pile of
That
worn
looks like
books
the
packed
middle of
into
the
an open
fucking
train car.
afternoon.
Yeah.
Wait, did they change the SCP to the Infinity Train?
Probably.
Infinity Train.
Yeah, basically the Infinity Train is a train. In the cartoon, the train would basically be in this alternate universe where everything was never ending.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what was
A
implied
never
by
ending
the...
train with a never ending train track.
No, well, I mean, that's kind of what was implied in the SCP as well.
Yeah, also, what the hell is
Well,
this
yeah,
gray
but
thing?
outside, but on the SCP, it also said the train in real life was not long and was not actually moving, suggesting it was probably an illusion of the train itself.
Ah. Yeah, but
No.
I'm more wondering what the fuck is this gray thing?
The gray thing, you mean the rocks?
No, like the big metal pole thing. What the fuck is that?
You don't know?
No.
It's part of old train lore.
Ow.
And like what I'm thinking is like if this is like from the perspective of someone who's on the train,
Ah.
this seems like
Actually, that is
relatively
actually badly placed. It's never. Let me show you one of those in real life. It's not placed like that.
accurate.
Oh, you're saying that shit?
I mean, pretty much it. Like, I think this is from the perspective of someone who's like on the
Ah.
train. So whether what he's seeing is real or not, this seems accurate to the SCP.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Granted, he should definitely have at least 4 other people with him for it to be this type of movement, but
Yeah.
who's keeping track of little details like that?
The fuck is Spood listening to downstairs? Should I close the door?
The guide of the penis monsters.
No, Spood isn't you. They're just ADHD.
As we all know, ADHD people actually exist in a hive mind.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
You do not exist in a hive mind.
No, I'm pretty sure we do.
No.
Yes, we do.
You're definitely different than Spood.
We can be one. We can be different. We
No.
barely exist at all.
Uh,
Come to me, paddlefish.
It barely exists at all. Anyways, should we continue the video?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not trying to say that this is a real scenery. You're saying it's the perspective of the person.
Yeah. But, like,
Okay.
whether or not the person is literally being transported to this place or not, don't know. I mean, it did mention that, like, the people who are on the train during this type of movement become unrecoverable. So it's
Yeah, they're
implied that they
genetically mutated, and the flora and fauna around the areas the train supposedly visits become mutated or killed.
No, that's stuff around it, not the people that are on the train during the second type of
Okay.
movement. During the second time of movement, it says that they become unrecoverable, which kind of
Right.
implies that they get taken to some other dimension.
Huh.
Or otherwise are taken out of whatever plane we exist on.
Or the
Interesting.
train eats it. We don't really know what happens to them if they vanish.
Well, yeah. Well, whatever. Well, I mean, we know what they see when they go on it. Like, we have that
Well,
information.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it might be all a bunch of illusions to lull them into staying so they get eaten by the train.
Right.
But, I mean, in this situation, what's the point of that? The train already has them on it in
Ah.
said illusions.
Well, once again, it's to keep them there until they get to digest them.
And besides that, it also affects, like, recording devices.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Who knows? Anyways,
Anyway.
let's watch.
This train car is one of many, one of hundreds. In fact, it just stretches straight ahead from one horizon to the other. If this sun is like ours, that means that the train is heading due south. The noise is almost unbearable. The grinding and shrieking of metal are never ending as the entire rusty streak of train cars barrels through this gray wasteland. Not even a shrub or outcrop
What,
in
you
either
called it
direction.
gray while you're looking at brown? This gray wasteland stares at the brown.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. It's actually very inclusive. They've got a colorblind character now.
Ugh.
Why did you just make the weird dinosaur sound from Utapau in Star Wars?
I felt like part of me died. Let's keep going. Did they randomly add a crack there? Okay, that's fine. Let's keep going.
I can't even see the tracks below with all the dust being kicked up. It's either dust or ash. I can't tell which. When the Foundation assigned us to investigate, they sent us through the front engine, which was stationary. It was sitting in a muddied mire in some humid southern swampland, and with only 8 corroded cars attached to it.
Now
I felt like I needed a tetanus
is
shot.
inaccurate.
Yeah.
What?
Wait, where did she come
That
from?
is inaccurate.
Wait, was it in a muddy mire at any point? I don't remember that.
That was not in the SCP.
That's what I thought. It's locked away behind a lot of lead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, bullshit.
In a room lined with lead, being held by chains lined with lead.
Yeah, so this isn't even like it's showing from the perspective of someone who's on the train during the second mode of transportation. Apparently, we're just making it the first mode of transportation. The SCP Foundation is just breaking its own protocol.
Yeah. Also, we almost have a bingo.
Yay.
If we have added sexual content or bad voice acting, we get a bingo.
I really, really don't want added sexual content with the marshmallows.
Please, no.
Just all of a sudden they get near butt naked.
No.
We
Can you
were
even
forced by
imagine how boobs on a marshmallow would look? No.
Well, imagine a few things. They get corralled onto this train, it starts moving, and then it just like
what would the boobs look like? Tiny Okay, that's probably a bit mean.
but like they all just get corralled onto the train, and then you just hear like the stereotypical porn music start playing. It's like, oh yeah, now, the SCP Foundation. They gave us instructions in this experiment. We're supposed to get on this rusty train and fornicate.
They might not do that, and also, I was hoping they might get 1 or 2 things wrong about the train. I was not thinking they would totally change the story of the train altogether. Nothing is tying the train down, apparently.
Oh my
It's not
god,
in a
bookworm.
room. It's not like held with chains with lead. There's nothing dangerous about the train, apparently.
Bookworm says tiny marshmallow boobs. Gotta toast them over a campfire and eat them.
It sounds like Bookworm would make that porn for some reason.
I mean, I guess that's true. Like if
Can I
it
watch?
exists as an if it exists as an idea, there's a fetish about it.
Okay, let's just press play.
Just from looking at it. There were 6 of us then. A security team of 5 and a lady from research and acquisitions. There was a small home nearby. The entire family went missing in one night. But we were not here to retrieve bodies. We thought we'd be eaten alive by mosquitoes. But as we got closer
Those
to the
were
site,
flies!
they backed off. It was dead quiet. with hardly
Oh,
anything
eaten
living around
alive
the
by
park.
mosquitoes makes fly sounds, draws flies.
There's draws flies, and then his fucking motion to get rid of them is the most jilted fucking weird ass hand waving.
Yeah.
Ugh, my brain.
We can preserve. We can Oh, jeez, am I broken? We can
Yes.
we can keep
Persevere?
going.
Persevere?
We went through the
Yeah.
fight just fine. There were no components on the damn engine, just a hollow shell. Hell, if I knew how it got there. Looks as though it was stripped for parts. Next was a train car of rotted timbers, some of which appeared to be oozing some kind of sickly sap, more of a pus than a passenger car. I remember one of the security agents getting jumpy and shooting one of the passengers right in the face when it turned to look at him. We all froze.
Wait, how would you get jumpy at a corpse?
Because it said it turned to look at him.
Yeah, but it didn't show it looking at him or turning. It was just a still, unmoving body.
Well, now it's even more of a corpse.
Go ahead back real quick.
You want to go back?
It's just a little bit. I gotta see that animation again. Like a little further. Just like the wind up of watching him slowly walk up to it and then that.
Right. 3,
Yeah.
2,
Yeah.
1.
Sap, more of a pus than a passenger car. I remember one of the security agents getting jumpy and shooting one of the passengers right in the face when it turned to look at him. We all froze waiting for a
Yeah, you
reaction.
notice it never moves. It never moves.
He just fucking puts a bullet into this corpse's head for no reason.
Also, what does he mean? One of the passengers. Where are the other passengers?
What? Yeah. Just randomly drop. Oh, one of the passengers. Alongside that, implying that they're supposed to still be alive,
Yeah.
and we just see this desiccated mummy sitting here.
Nothing. Looked like he shot a mummified man sitting in his seat with clothes too decomposed to tell what they were. Tattered black rags across his withered frame. Shrink wrapped in a crispy
are
gray skin,
black.
but it had a moldy
Yeah.
Those are
briefcase with
black.
rusty latches in his lap. There were several others sitting in seats spread.
Wait, now there's others? Now there's others?
They just copied and pasted.
Yeah, they even
This-
left the bullet hole.
The fucking audacity of this channel to practically make continuity errors a goddamn feature of the videos.
It's like, now there's
Like-
no one else. Now there are others.
Like, they first get on the train, look back, there's no seating. Then suddenly, there is seating, and there's a dead guy. Shoots the dead guy. Suddenly, there's multiple dead guys.
And they all have bullet holes. Like they're all quintuplets.
Ugh.
Ready to continue?
My flesh aches.
out all
You
over
know
the
what?
train car.
I'm gonna open the Reese's Pieces.
Can I have one?
I can't send them over to you, Hatchet.
Jerry.
Otherwise, I would hand you one.
The way you
Damn.
said it sounded like a threat. Dude, it's so
What?
good.
No,
All right,
it's
that's
kind
it.
of like I don't drink, so this is as close as I'm getting.
I don't drink either.
Alright, that's it. It's code Reese's Pieces. Takes out the Reese's Pieces, starts munching them angrily as if it's a threat.
Okay, let's keep going.
Commuters? One of the members mumbled. It looked back at him with hollowed eyes and a furrowed expression like it had just had its day ruined. Then picked up the case
What furrowed?
and tossed it at our
What
feet. I
furrowed?
finally broke the
Right.
silence after a full minute. Pick it up and take it back to the rally point, I ordered to the agent.
What? He looks like a D class. Why is he worrying the
I
agents
don't know.
He's like an 04 He's like an O4 researcher, but he just likes wearing orange, okay?
In the back. He was relieved to do so and hustled back through the engine to get out. I was glad he was able to get off when he did, because that's when we felt the whole train move forward. It was
What?
such a jolt that we all came crashing down like dominoes right in the aisle. When we stood back up, we could see that we were somewhere else entirely. That was yesterday. Well, yesterday in train time, not regular time. Regular time, it's been like
Time?
2, maybe 3.
Wait, so that wasn't a hallucination or in their dreams or anything. The train just literally left.
Yeah.
It just actually left. But now suddenly they're in the train universe where time is different, which was actually in the SCP. But this isn't that type of locomotion that the train's supposed to do. This is the first type, not the second. The second type of locomotion happens for the people on the train, but the train itself to outside observers doesn't go anywhere.
Right.
This is so
So in
tiring.
the article, it could be argued if the train is bringing people to another universe or is eating them. But here, it's like, no, it's kidnapping them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, the idea of it eating them is just complete speculation. There's nothing to indicate that in the article, really.
Well, they vanish. And unless they come back somehow, we really don't know what happens to them.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean eaten.
It could mean anything.
We've got a God of the Gap situation here.
Alright, 3, 2, 1.
3 days. I'm not really sure. The sun is getting brighter. It's blinding. It takes up half of the sky
And there's
and
no
is as
sun.
bright as a flare. Now that I can actually
But
see,
he didn't
I look at
explain
the
where the
books in the
others
pile
are.
I've been laying
Yeah.
on, all bound in a sort of stained burlap cloth. Each one with the same title, but I can't read it. Whatever the hell that is supposed to mean. The inside is, well, I can't make sense of the language or the characters either. Cyrillic or maybe Hindi. Characters I'm just not familiar with at all. They seem to change when I glance
That
back
doesn't
at
look like either language.
Just
This
squibbles.
feels weirdly racist. How did they?
Okay, to be fair, I feel like they would have represented the language as just squiggles if it was English as well. They're too lazy to actually write out the text.
Fair enough.
That said, I'm still completely fine with arbitrarily adding racism to the board if we want to go for that bingo.
Now we actually have a way to get a double bingo if we have anti-woman or use of forbidden content or added sexual content and bad voice acting.
Let's never hope for added sexual content with Marshmallow Universe.
They're going to fuck the books!
Well, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
something anti-memetic, likely. I close it up and find a place in my vest to store it. I hear Michelle as she starts coughing.
What
She's not
vest?
vest?
What
What
vest? You're wearing an orange t-shirt, you absolute knob. Oh man, I love storing things in my vest. Just eats it apparently. Where the like These streams are taking years off my lifespan.
We love you.
I love y'all. Well, actually, I love you, Jiri. I'm starting to question whether I love Bright.
Fuck you. Anyways.
Fuck you. Fuck you for bringing me in on this.
Well, just remember we cover the content farm so people know how inaccurate they are.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it hurt less.
I know, but if we don't do it, more people are more likely to go to the content, think they're super accurate, and just have fun with it.
In 3, 2, 1.
Not since she fell into that open tanker car filled with only God knows what. You're awake.
What?
Feel any better? I ask loudly.
What? What? When did this happen?
I don't
You
know.
just-
Sometime
you
off
fast-
screen.
You fast forward a day and then start talking about shit that you skipped in the fast forward? This isn't
Yeah.
a Quentin Tarantino film. We're not looking for fucking different timelines to be fucking god.
Okay.
No.
Well, maybe she's okay.
She's gonna be a part of the coup.
Okay.
Love you, Hatchet.
Fuck you, Bray. Time
Sorry,
different.
I have to
laughed
shout
and
over the
I
noise.
can't
Yeah.
un-
Not hardly. I
No,
can move though.
it's
She gets up on
oh
walk.
my god! The fucking echo effect on that.
What the fuck is wrong with that audio?
Okay, we can
Oh.
add bad voice acting now.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. And also, I was just gonna say, to be clear, half of this is just for show, just for content. I'm playing it up a little, but just know I am dying inside.
Don't worry.
I'm
all
not-
of us are
I'm-
dying inside watching this. All of us.
I'm not.
Look
I'm
at
not
her
actually.
ears.
Like,
Look at her
it's-
ears.
yeah, I'm not actually angry at anyone here. I'm just playing it up a little bit, a wee teensy bit. But sometimes overreactions are content, and sometimes overreactions are fun. Because this is how I cope with this bullshit. Okay.
You know what? That's fair. If you
I co-
overreact to make coping a little easier, that's valid. I
Ugh.
snack. Okay, press play.
Anyway, you want to back up a little bit so we can get more information on what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, I'll go to the beginning of the Michelle thing.
Michelle.
That's what the
Okay.
chapter's called. It's called Michelle.
I see that. I see that, but I just find that funny. I'll go to the beginning of Michelle.
That's where her existence starts.
Yeah. Alright, in 3, 2, 1.
To store.
Sorry, bad
I hear
joke.
Michelle as she starts coughing.
That's good.
She's not getting better. Not since she fell into that open tanker car filled with only God knows what.
You're awake. Feel any better?
I ask loudly. I have to shout over the noise.
Not hardly. I can move though.
She gets up on wobbly legs.
Can you see the engine?
Ugh.
No.
I squint hard down the endless cars through the wind.
It's not there. At least I can't see it. I can still see a little black smoke ahead, but that's all.
I remove the radio from my hip and key it up.
Why
Zeta
would
5,
you
this
be
is
able
Zeta
to see
1.
the
We
engine
have
from
daylight and
there?
are going to continue toward extraction. You copy? This is Zeta 1. We are unable to hear you. If you can hear us, we are moving south. I still have Blue Asset with me.
Why do you still use that thing?
Michelle grabs her laptop case and clambers up on top of the pile. Her
That's
raspy
not
voice
a
is getting more
laptop
noticeable.
case.
Because it's
Yeah.
smart to. We keep talking. We keep communicating. But you can't understand each other. That doesn't mean they can't hear us. Come on. We
Did
have
she turn
daylight to
into a
burn.
smoker?
There has to be at least 100 cars to the horizon.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh,
She's canonically a smoker now.
I was a young boy. My father took me into the city
Okay,
to see a marching band.
press play. Don't let Hatchet
Horizon.
enter
You
the
going to
black
carry that thing
parade.
all the way back? She tucks the case under her arm. It's recording everything. We just can't. Michelle stops and coughs into her sleeve. It's that same black stuff as yesterday. We both look at each other concerned. But there was no time to dwell on it.
Wait,
over the
wait,
pile
how
of
did she
books
get out of
in
the thing? They never showed how they got her out.
She's been stuck in there for half a goddamn day. And it's just, oh, I'm out of it now.
Yeah, and all of a sudden they're on top of the train.
Yeah, they didn't really talk about getting on top, but now they are.
This is paced and put together like a goddamn fever dream.
Yeah,
Like, it's just like random little bits of information being strung together while your body's trying to fight off sepsis or some shit.
Oh my gosh, Zanju is right. And she ate the bag. Because she's not carrying the bag anymore.
oh Oh,
She put the bag in her vest. It's fine.
yes, invisible vest. Invisible vest they both have.
Oh my god.
Please ignore my. Please ignore my alarm clock playing the final brain cell. It's not insulting them, I swear.
Well, it's thematic.
Yeah.
Uh,
Let's continue.
Into the next train car. All these train cars are unique in their own right, some more memorable than others. We were able to pass over the tops of 40 rusty cars in the long morning. It's best to travel on top rather than through if we can. I thought the long night would help us rest, but I feel just as tired as I did yesterday. There is one car coming up with no roof.
Wait, what's wrong with her arm right here? Why is there just
you're asking that, but you didn't ask why it looks like there's a pile of piss on his one leg.
yeah.
The only thing I was gonna mention is the train isn't moving.
Oh yeah.
The train hasn't been moving since we first saw it get started off.
I think it's
I
just
guess
lazy animation.
Yeah.
I guess it takes too much effort to show stuff going by. Wait, it's not supposed to be stopped? No, it's supposed to still be going.
Yeah.
They're talking about like the sound of it on its tracks. It's supposed to still be moving.
Anyways, let's continue.
I motion to Michelle that we have to hop down. She nods. Her sleeves are stained black with her coughing. No point in keeping it hidden now.
where's the
Instead, I
stained
turn my
black
attention to
part?
the jump up ahead. I can't see inside for some reason. Even
There's
with the
no
huge sun
glass.
overhead, the shadows are too deep. It'll be a blind jump. We'll go together. I grab her hand and we look at one another for a moment. We're the last two. We jump. We fall and pass through the dust and shadows. There is a weightlessness to the space inside the car. Michelle and I hold on to one another as I try to move my way forward. I can feel the sides of the train car as I pull along. I can't feel the floor though. Finally, I can touch the other side. There's a ladder. I grab hold of the first rung and pull. It's slow going, but I am making progress. Michelle feels like dead weight at this point, but I keep pulling. Finally,
Bro, what?
What the fuck?
Oh yeah, just gonna toss that out there. Yeah, this woman that's with me, she's just dead weight at this point. Ugh.
Did he not casually mention that literally everyone else is either missing or dead?
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's still insulting the only woman that was part of their group and also one of the only people still alive.
Do we wanna just toss a little bit of misogyny down on the bingo, or do we just go on?
I already
I cannot
clicked it.
deny that it seems like there's misogyny very intense there.
Yes, aren't you? This whammon is slowing me down by walking up behind me on this ladder.
Oh my god.
Maybe he says that because he's never seen a woman before.
This is the first whammon he's ever been
Why-
introduced to.
Okay, why is it
Yeah,
every
he
time?
wasn't able to look at his mom because his mom thought he was such an asshole.
Yeah. Also, why is it every time we go to a new content farm, it just keeps getting worse and worse?
It's not
Hey, it
worse.
started better than the last content farm.
And even then, I dare say that compared to this shit that some of the other ones have pulled, this isn't that bad. It's still awful. And I still want to pluck my eyes out with a rusty nail. But it's not that bad. At least I'm not wishing death upon an entire continent.
Yeah. Anyways, let's continue.
we break through the shadow stuff and I take a full breath of air. Was I not breathing before?
Wait, shadow
I pull
stuff?
up Michelle, but I can feel her grip has loosened. I pull harder. An arm surfaces. Then the top of her
Almost
head.
like she was
But
stuck
suddenly
in
she lets
something
go.
full of
Her
smoke
hand
for half
opens
a
up and she
day.
falls away from me. Something is slippery across her skin. I try my best, but I can't hold on to her. She fades away into the darkness. Another 60 cars later, and the sun has crossed over towards
You
the other
gave
side.
them too
I carry
fucking
Michelle's
easily.
equipment
Wasn't
with me.
there a
She's
staircase?
Yeah, no,
You could
fuck
literally
this
use
guy.
the ladder to get her.
This guy does
Little
not.
shit.
This
You little
stupid,
bitch.
this stupid marshmallow-looking ass piece of shit does not get to look disappointed and sad after calling this woman dead weight and then putting in the amount of effort to pull her up that I would put into trying to fucking force pull a goddamn remote my way. Fuck this guy.
We definitely need to add sexism, although I think you already did.
Yeah.
Continuity? What's that? There is no continuity. This train is the anti-continuity train. Everything randomly appears and disappears. This is
Please
so
don't
dumb.
make him. I hope it does. He isn't written to be like train Jesus or something. Let's keep going.
Gone. I still can't
I
see
just
the
hope
engine.
he falls
Just
off
a
and
straight path
dies.
towards the horizon.
also
I think
hope he
about jumping
dies.
off. I think about what happened to my second in command, Zeta 2, when he fell, disappearing into the
train.
dusty clouds churned up by the screeching wheels. Nobody could see the body. I think about what else is ahead. Animal transport cars filled
You
with
care
bloated
about
stalks of
anyone?
twigs.
Anyone? It seems like in none of those cases did he even attempt to try to help them. They're like reaching for him, like, please help! Watching you and I'm not doing anything. Let's keep going.
And I'm sorry. It's just so distracting at this point. Why is he not doing something to indicate that the train is still moving? Like he's like the only reason he would need to go across the top of the train or through it is because it's moving. Ugh.
Twitching tumors, flatbeds with burning cars chained down, tankers of sloshing effluence with a smell that lingers on my tongue instead of my nose. This is an endurance in hell.
Wait,
I've been at this for hours. A full day, probably. A train
I didn't
day.
need the semicolon
Much longer than the
P
100
face.
cars I wanted to accomplish. I can still see the plume of black smoke in the distance. Doesn't look any
Zanju,
smaller
I
or
think-
larger than it did earlier. With the sun almost touching the other side of the world, I can't
I think it was implied that those two falling into the void happened during the day that he skipped for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it happened like in the interim between.
And think of this. He was so disinterested in checking if they were okay, he literally tried to contact them on the radio after they fell.
It's like, hey, are you all right down there? Like that's his first mode to try to
Yeah.
help them. Just like, this is your team leader speaking. Are you alive?
Cool.
Hello. Hello. Any bitches alive in here? No. Okay. Fuck off.
Right, that's too much emotion. He's
I'm
not showing
sorry.
that much.
I will warn you, if you don't respond, I will shit into the void.
He might have done that at some point. Let's
You-
keep going.
Yeah.
You better not be dead weight to me.
the radio. Zeta 1, light is going to be gone in a bit. I'm going to find a car to stop at. I think I crossed 200,
Is he
maybe
still
300
trying to
total for this
contact
cycle.
them?
Lost blue asset. Just me now. I have her equipment, if that's worth anything. I go to key up one last time, but I have nothing left to say. This is probably day 4 for me. Or is it 5? I should be thirsty. I should be almost dying of thirst, in fact. But I feel nothing. I feel empty.
The
But I
train
can still
doesn't
keep
take
moving.
away your
Just a few
ability
more
to
cars
feel
for the day.
thirsty.
Really.
Yeah.
Well, actually, trying to think. That feels vaguely familiar. Oh, I goddamn closed the window, damn it. Okay, what was the SCP again?
716.
716. Let's see. Load, please. Please load.
No.
I'd like it. Please. There you go. Okay. The only feature of any kind is in Endless train cars. Reported as 2 large suns. Subjects are still able to send and receive radio and other transmissions that they experience a progressive breakdown in clarity with communication rendered impossible after approximately 1 month. It doesn't say. Oh, wait, here. Tests have shown the environment to be totally sterile, lacking in any source of water. That's literally the only mention of water. Yeah, I know. So he's just adding a property to it. There's no indication that being on the train, while it's apparently stationary but actually technically moving, is gonna make it so that you don't feel hungry or thirsty.
Whee!
Anyways.
I'm just scouting for a place to hunker down when the sun is gone. It's too dark to move at night. I come across a passenger car with an open vent. As I hop down, I nearly fall through the wooden floor. My foot breaks through, but I'm able to pull it free.
Please
All I see
die.
is dust and the spinning axle holding the train car up. The glass windows are all shattered on the inside. The seats are
No,
ripped
they're
and molded.
not!
I doubt anyone is going to ask to see my
They
tickets.
didn't
I
even
sit down right as the sun falls
try!
over the edge. I feel the book in my vest. I open to try and look at it again. It's starting to
Where
make
did
more
he-
sense.
You know what? That doesn't.
he just phases it out of his shirt.
His vest.
You know, he's just got the bag of holding as like a little spatial portal in his chest.
I hate it.
Looks clearer than before. I can make out a few sentences. In the land of ash, and old rusty worm slithers, and hungry head glares. Dreamers all aboard. Take a seat when the maw shuts. Dreamers all aboard. I've lost track of time. I've only been here since yesterday. Regular time, I think. Streaks of orange light shift to purple, then deep blue just before the sky is swallowed in black. The light is almost out now. I'm so tired. I can wait here. I can rest here. Maybe even sleep. I key the radio up one last time before it goes completely black in the car. Static. But there is also something faint behind the noise. I press my ear into the radio. I can barely hear it. A train whistle. SCP-716 is a large locomotive and a variable
And we don't
number
know
of
what happens
cars,
to him.
between 8 and 20 on average. Both the locomotive and cars appeared to be in an advanced state of neglect. Physical damage
Why
dealt
does the rest look like just shit? Just shit smeared
Just-
on the train.
Shit rust, you know, it happens sometimes in the SCP Foundation.
That definitely looks like shit and not rust.
It's shit rust.
What, rusted shit?
Yes.
No, it's shitty rust.
I'm just gonna say this is probably gonna get a very lowest percentage.
No shit.
to SCP-716 appears to slowly regenerate over time. However, it maintains an appearance of extreme neglect and rust. SCP-716 can be physically moved with difficulty. However, the locomotive appears to be unable to function normally and appears to be missing many critical.
Did they really just do that?
Yes.
I don't think that
Let's-
CP Universe does that.
Let's roll back a second. Okay, let's just roll back and get a good look at this this expertly animated helicopter maneuver. Let's
6
just
can be
watch it.
physically moved with difficulty. However, the locomotive appears to be unable.
Wait, the chain. The chain is above the fucking helicopter.
Yeah.
See, it's above. The...
Oh my god!
My God.
with
It is-
difficulty. However, the locomotive appears to be unable to function normally and appears to be missing many critical parts. SCP-716
Cinema.
exhibits a select form of inconsistent topography. While appearing to have a set number of rail cars from outside observation, the train exhibits an apparently unlimited amount of cars when entered. Almost all of these cars are enclosed and appear to be of random types: passenger, tanker, animal transport, mail, and others. Many of them exhibit other anomalous properties.
Oh, they just had to do their rendition of the hanged horses.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Why
Some
did
notable
they somehow
and-
make the hanged horses look dramatic?
Uh, why are they hung? What? Okay, what the hell is like? Oh, Festus. Okay, give me a sec.
No.
Festus
They
just
have to
fucking.
deal with the cat.
Festus jumped out of my lap and unplugged my headset.
Oh.
So, like, they're hanging horses, right? But they've got rope around their necks there.
Yeah.
But they're not hanging by their necks. They're hanging by their two front hooves.
Which
Why?
is not how the hanging horses does. You hang by the neck.
Okay.
Why? Why? Just why? It feels so much easier to just hang them by the neck with your drawing. Why do this?
I
It's-
think they wanted it to look more dramatic after I'll look at it and tell me what looks more dramatic. The realistic version or their version?
I don't know.
They look like they're
And
dead
recurring-
horses on a stage play, posing. Like, heads.
Yeah, they
It's
yeah,
not
they-
phase, mother. It's
Yeah, they-
my reality.
they have the hair swoop back look going on. Emo
So
horses.
fucking stupid.
Dead emo horses.
Anyways.
cars are a horse transport car with horse corpses hanging from ropes made of sheep tendon, a tanker car filled with a mixture of crude oil and human bile, a large transport car filled with stacks of
That's
keys
not
made of
human
many different
bile.
materials.
No, it is not.
SCP-716 is also capable of two
Wait.
forms of transport.
I find it really funny. They showed the horses. They showed the tanker, which it wasn't a tanker car. It was just like the side of a standard box car. And then they just noped out of trying to draw the car full of keys made out of random animal bits. It was like, nope, we're not gonna try that one. That sounds like too much work.
To begin with, it can travel and move in a manner consistent with a locomotive of similar dimensions, despite the lack of vital parts, any form of fuel or conductor. While it appears to prefer traveling on current or former rail tracks, SCP-716 is capable of overland movement as well, in a manner similar to SCP-1489. The second transportation movement form exhibited by SCP-716 has only been observed with human subjects on board. The probability of triggering this mode appears to be largely random, but is more common in cases of groups of 5 or more subjects. Subjects report that SCP-716 will suddenly shift and begin to move, rapidly accelerating to top speed. Outside observation will show that regardless of subject reports and received data, SCP-716 remains completely still. Once SCP-716 begins this form,
I'm gonna need you to rewind the video to when the train takes off.
Yeah,
Just real
physically
quick.
took off.
Okay, 11:32.
Yeah, it's right around. Yeah, it's right around there.
he was able to get off when he did, because that's when we felt the whole train move forward. It was such a jolt that we
Hmm. You contradict.
We're almost done.
The level of stupidity is disgusting.
Yep.
Disgusting. You read You read the SCP out at the end of the video. How did you put this How did you put this video together? Stitch these two parts of your own narrative with the SCP and not pick up on the fact that you just so happened to misrepresent the entire way that the SCP operates.
Bookworm, no one
How did you
edited the
do it?
script.
I guess, yeah. This wasn't even the first draft. This was like the first quarter draft.
Yeah.
form of transportation, movement. Subjects become unrecoverable.
Narration, maybe.
Lurk D wrote this story and many others for this channel. If you want to help support him in his work, you can head over to his
Wait,
page
that's what
here
they
by clicking the
meant by
link in the
written
description
by?
below. On his page,
weren't
you will
trying
find
to
many more interesting
do-
SCPs and SCP.
Hold up. Wait, this actually totally tracks. If they just chat GBT'd this, they just told ChatGPT, write me a script about this SCP, then it makes sense for that for ChatGPT to have given the wrong author.
Yeah. Seeing how they already use AI art, this would not be a surprise.
Oh, they just ChatGPT'd the whole thing.
Let me
And
look
here
at
we
Lurk
are.
D.
Well, we looked at his stuff earlier.
Yeah.
He's another SCP artist, but not the one who made this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello World Part 2, Hello World Part 3, Hello World Part 4.
All gags and scrambled eggs. Cat in a box.
B stories.
Okay, let's rate
Thanks
this
for watching.
video.
Be sure to
I don't know.
It's easy money for no work. Alright. Removal of character / license.
4.
Not really any characters to remove, but they didn't include the license, and I mean they credited the wrong person.
Here's one.
So 4.
This one's gonna be hard. Added gore or violence.
Well, there wasn't any details of anyone dying or getting injured in the thing, although it said it happened.
Yeah.
I would put this at 2.
Yeah.
Because they added in the sense of depicting characters having that happen, but it's not entirely consistent with how they happen in the actual SCP.
Yeah, they killed characters,
Or-
there was violence, but you didn't actually see anything.
Yeah.
And they basically they fan cammed what they think happens on the train, given
Also,
very
deviates
information.
from the plot. 4. They can't even follow their own fucking plot.
Yeah, no. This I'd give them 5 if we could.
Only men in the video / offensiveness.
Well,
Well-
there was a woman, they literally called her useless, and then they just let her fall to her death casually.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not that there were no women, but it was definitely offensive. I'd say 3.
Yeah, I agree, 3. Somehow adding her and then doing that was worse than having no women at all.
I would agree, yeah. Like, if there was just no women whatsoever, and otherwise it was just box standard, I'd probably say 2. But they added a gal just to fucking treat her like garbage.
Well, it
Yeah.
was right. It did get lower than the other 2.